The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a show for 80s babies who were 90s kids. If you were a No Limit soldier, then this is your show. If you believe that Cash Money is not an army but was a Navy, this is the show for you. If you and your friends ever tried to sing a song written by Escape, In Vogue, Shy, or Boyz II Men at a talent show during middle school, this is your show. The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a bunch of 80s babies talking about all the songs and things that we loved when we were kids and teenagers. So if you went to the skating rink and you were at a lock-in, this is the show for you. If you think that Tevin Campbell was the original Prince of R&B, this is the show for you. If you don't understand the conflict between Monica and Brandy, but you're kind of on Monica's side and understand why Brandy got punched, this is the show for you. Make sure that you tune in, subscribe, click the little subscribe link. We're here. We're going to talk about all things 90s music. This is the show for you.
I get to, oh shit. Okay, hold on, wait. All right, so damn, like it's so many ways you can go with this. Like father, husband, producer, lyricist. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Future Grammy. It's Grammy, right? Grammy, right?
Yeah, yes.
Like how many you thinking? This is big, dog. This is big. Like, listen, it's cozy. This is the cozy episode. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is the cozy episode. Dave Kenneth Giles, Mr. Paxton, if you nasty. You know what I'm saying?
That's him.
Hey, man, I don't understand if you nasty no more because you married now, but you know what I'm saying? It's all good. You know what I mean?
Between the hours. Between the hours, you know,
yeah,
10 to midnight.
Thanks, bro. I'm glad to have you on the show, bro. Like, obviously, me and Sleep, I mean, it's Alpha Team right here, bro. You feel me? And like, yes. Hey, man, yes. Listen, Sleep said that we was talking about before. Like, I forgot he was on the first album. Listen, if y'all ever listen, man, listen, I'm excited. If y'all ever, matter of fact, I gotta find the album. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna put it on my Facebook. Sleepy is on the I don't know if it was very first, but he's on one of the albums, and he is talking that sleepy shit, and that's the Sleepy that I love.
Okay, time out.
No. It's Peabody Sleepy at its. I love it. It's before Sleepy got, like, you know, before he became Eric, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy, his name was Sleepy, and he was on this album talking this shit. And before, of course, it was Dave Giles, it was Mr. Paxton, if you nasty. And I'm telling you, man, listen, Dave got this song called Brown Skin Girl. He got a lot of songs. But Brown Skin Girl, hey man, I'm gonna put that on my Instagram. But no, man, like, love to introduce you, my dog. I'm gonna let you talk because I keep going. The accolades, the moments, the brotherhood, the love. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, hey, talk to the people, man. Why are you cozy?
Well, first off, I'm cozy because of this linen. You know what I'm saying?
Damn it! Hot damn it! Yes.
You know what I'm saying? First off, I'm cozy because of the linen. Nah, man. I think why the song in particular, you know, just being what it is and how it is
What's the song?
so
what song?
Cozy,
what's the song?
Track 2 off of Beyonce's Renaissance,
off of who?
Man, which
off
will,
who?
mark my words, be album of the year.
Off of who?
Yeah, the Queen.
You want who album?
The Queen B. Beyonce.
If I go on the credits,
so real talk. I seen his name in the credits. His name, it's in there.
Yeah,
it's twice. Yeah.
It's real, y'all.
Hey, no, seriously. Dave, Giles.
I'm here.
Giles. Oh, you don't understand, man. Me and Dave, we don't just got alpha. We were promoters together. Triple SC.
Yep.
We had clothes. I still got some of the shirts.
Yeah.
I still got some of the shirts. We was the San Rafael boys. We lived in.
Oh man.
Yep.
That's all three of us. That's all three. Those lived over there too.
Shout out AC, you know what I'm saying? Shout out
A, shout out to C,
shout out to C, buddy. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dang, dog. That's crazy.
So to see you pop up, I won't say pop up because you've been grinding for a long time, but to see that grind pay off and to see your name in them credits.
You're right.
I told you, it made my heart smile, bro, because I know how hard you work. Like you work. And man, that's huge.
Larry,
Everybody is so proud of you.
Overseas superstar, bro. Like,
Chicago proud of you because you know that's where you from, Paxton Avenue.
You know what I'm saying?
Chicago proud of you, but you spent a nice chunk of your early adult life in St. Louis, and we proud of you too. Man.
Yeah, but on some nigga shit though. Yeah, so them royalties though, because you know what I'm saying, we've been rocking with you for a minute. Sleepy wasn't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We rocking for a minute, dog. You know what I'm saying? I just, you said inspiration, so I was like, well, let me get my Suge Knight bag. You know what I'm saying?
No. Hold on, man. Dave, let's do some real journalism and learn about this for real. Because those are gonna send it off to the right. People want to know about how you even get on the Beyonce album. Like, what was? Like, let's talk about that.
So, first off, I want to shout out a really, really important dude, Luke Solomon. If you ever get a chance, look him up. British house music producer, but he's been out here. Like he was, spent time in Chicago on the scene, spent time in New York on the scene, spent time in Dallas. Like he's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's everywhere where dance music has been. The long version of the story is that Luke is essentially the person that found me and my music partner Sam when we first kind of went left and went into the dance space. We had put out that record, "You the Shit Girl." We recorded that record. Let me go back. 2012, so 10 years ago. Recorded that 10 years ago, and we're shopping it independently and pushing and really pushing in a different way than I ever, y'all know about the Paxtons, y'all know about, all of my, old mixtapes and all of that stuff. And we were pushing this differently because I would do shows in New York, and this is no disrespect to my group, the Paxtons, you know what I'm saying? I do Paxton shows in New York, and then we would add this one song, "You the Shit Girl," this house song at the end of the set. And we could be playing in a bar, we could be playing at a block party, we could be playing at a club. People who were in the crowd, who were just, with us like this, or who were like moving a little bit, when that song would come on, they would stop, like lose their shit, climb on tables. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's sleepy and
tables, you know what I'm saying? And climb on the bar. Every gender, male, female, you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody was into this record, no matter what your orientation was. And I saw that early. And I think one of the things that y'all definitely know about me is that I'm somebody who sees patterns and I see cycles and I try and react to them and I try and adapt to them. I'm willing to change and willing to evolve if I can make some sense of it. You know what I'm saying? And so I saw that and I was like, nah, this actually is the closest thing to a hit I think that I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, we just really focused on, like, I was Dave, Sam was Sam, and we just focused on the song. So we ended up, after about 3 years of shopping into to labels and them kind of being like, oh, well, we don't really know you that well, or y'all don't have a profile or an identity yet. We just put the video out, put the money up, you know what I'm saying? Called up the homies, and, he's cold with a camera, she's cold at directing, she's cold at writing, you know what I'm saying? She can dance, like, just, did it like that. Organic, grassroots, filmed a lot of it in the park, around the Bed-Stuy community, all of that. I bring up all of that point because after doing that, self-releasing that, you know what I mean, I was also working at Essence Magazine at the time because I'm also a visual artist. So I do design, I do web and all of that. And so
many caps, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The synchronicity that kind of happened there was that the record was called "You the Shit Girl." And as you could imagine, having a record like that while working for a Black women's brand such as Essence, if there was ever a time to get your Kanye on and hop on the table and be like, listen to me and pay attention, you know what I mean? That was it. And, typically people kind of always like, hey, look at me, look at what I'm making. But I try, and I think Sleepy said it best, your first look sometimes is all you get. And so I've always been really thoughtful about trying to make sure that the first thing you see is gonna count. And that was the first thing I came to them and kind of asked for their support on. They got it, they understood it. Shout out to Yolanda Sanguini, who was the editor then, but now is at over everything at NPR. And they got it. They ran a story on it. You know what I'm saying? Showcased the video on their site. Ended up booking me to perform Essence Festival. And
that was dope.
You know, just that whole experience leads to a small label in Texas called New Math. Basically being like, man, this is sick. We want to put some money behind the record, pick it up, do something with it. So they ended up reaching out to a few house music producers, Seven Davis Jr. and Derek Carter, who was a Chicago legend, and had them remix it. Not too long after that, now mind you, at this point, we're in like, say, 2016, 2017. Had them remix it. Derek Carter's best friend is Luke Solomon. And they both started a label together called Classic Music. Derek went on to, get back into producing and DJing. Luke stuck with it and signed Classic over to Defected, which is like the world's largest dance music label. They're under Warner, but they're based in London, you know what I'm saying? So very much international scene, not the biggest in the US, but they got the world on lock.
But your name, so you say your name is ringing in France right now. What you're saying is, if I pull up, I'm like, yeah, I'm with Dave. Oh my, you with Dave? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Light work. Keep that down.
I'm gonna say, well, I let the number speak for it. So in that regard, like when I get my publishing checks from ASCAP, the international ones are about 10 times bigger than the domestic ones. So that's the POV of it.
When I get my checks from ASCAP, what are we doing?
So,
hey Dave, I want to cut you off for a second. I just want to highlight something because you said that you saw the trend early. That's like 2012.
Yeah.
Because Drake is going into the house music scene right now. Obviously Beyonce is going back into that scene. I think that's just dope that you were able to see it that early, record a song, because if you didn't lay that foundation back then and record that song, all the things that tumbled to make today happen wouldn't have happened.
Right.
You peeped that 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah, you was the alpha in that sense.
So that's fucking dope. Like real talk.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Thank you. And even that, I consider myself to be somebody who looks in the future, who thinks in the future, but I can honestly say there was never like a point of, oh, this is a trend, or oh, I'm gonna catch this, so I'm gonna ride this wave. I'm from Chicago, man. We invented house. And so that music was part of my childhood. You know what I'm saying? It was like on the radio in Chicago. You heard Dr. King's speech on top of, can you feel it? West Side Percolator. Y'all was roasting me, you know what I'm saying, in the little parties. But whenever they throw on, Percolate in the party, I'm going the hardest. But that's where I came from. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so when we talk about basically kind of bring it all full circle, even when the idea came about to make house, like, because Sam brought it to me. Sam was like, yo, I think you can do this. He brought it to me because he was like, yo, you pull up on our parties when we playing the house stuff, the electronic stuff. I see that you freestyling over that. I see that you know what to do with it, and I'm realizing this is just part of what you do. Like, even though you're not recording this music, you know how to do this. So maybe we should try and do this. Another thing that I'll even throw in there to kind of like, because I got to give the credit to my wife in this regard too.
Come on.
What up, DG? Yeah. She knew about the Paxton. She knew about what we were doing and definitely was into the music. But it was not very long into the process of, being a unit that she kind of, after coming out to the shows and living in this world that I, was curating for myself as an artist, started to, kind of realize like, okay, your music is dope, but in the way that we now understand kind of what Drake is doing, she would say that's some sad hoe shit. She would say, it's jamming, but it's toxic hoe stories. You know what I'm saying? And that's not really something that, over time, that's not going to age really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, like I said, you see patterns and you adapt. So for her, she was like, I want something I can dance to. I want something that my girls can dance to, that I can be proud of. And that's something I took to heart very early. So hence the first record being You the Shit Girl. It literally was a record about her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And about, it was framed as about being about all the facets
Man,
of what a woman is about, you know what I'm saying, or what a woman can be and all of that. But it ultimately, dang near every line that's in there is an observation of her.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, so if you get somebody special, you need to write a song about them, and then you'll end up on the Beyonce album. I see what you're doing.
You could.
I see what you're doing.
But hey, real talk, Dave. Giving the women something to dance to, that goes back to Alpha. That goes back to when we used to promote together. Because if you get the women in your party, you can charge the dudes whatever. Because even if they don't like you, even if they don't want to dance, if the women in there, they gonna come.
Yep.
So, Jahan.
Yeah,
the principles.
Sleepy would definitely charge somebody $30 for a college party and not think twice about it.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that out there. If ever you came to an Alpha party, you saw him at the door. That wasn't my. Listen,
Hey, it ended up being 60. 30 to jump the line, 30 to get in.
Yep.
What you mean?
Yeah.
Try to jump the line, give me 30. How many with you? All right, give me 50.
That's crazy.
Yep.
We still got to pay to get in? Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Going off what Sleepy said though, bro, like, what's the biggest thing you would take away? I mean, obviously from when you were seeing that house music jumping, like to when, you know, I guess Drake tried to drop his joint, and you know, to when Beyonce did hers. Is it just based off name alone, or is it like the actual quality of music? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm new to listening to the house music. I ain't gonna lie. You know, when I heard Cozy, I was, you know what I'm saying? And then of course the show started going. But first of all, stream that song as much as you can. Hey, 1 million streams will get my nigga $2. You know what I'm saying? So just stream. But like, what's the, like, if you had to, and this is a wild estimation, but like if you had to guess where house music was going, like, would you say it depends on the artist, or is it an actual movement that could take over in like the next, 2 summers?
So that's actually a perfect question, because I definitely kind of ventured off the path in my storytelling, but that brings me back around to the importance of that brother Luke Solomon. When Luke heard that Derek Carter remix in 2017, he basically had his moment was, how does Derek Carter know these guys and I don't? Who are they? Why don't I know who they are? We had like 2 followers on our SoundCloud. So he's in our DM, like, literally, why don't I know who you are? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? And what's up? And we're so under the radar that I don't even check his message for like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Damn, you left me on red?
Left him on red. And so when it finally, you know what I'm saying, kind of got around to me, we talk, we connect, and what I figure out from him is he has this vision. He has this understanding that house at one point was very black, it was very brown, it was very queer, it was all of these things. It was revolutionary, it was lyrical, it was also fun, it was also sexy. You know what I'm saying? It touched all of these things.
Yeah.
And at a point, your biggest artists, it was nothing for like what's happening now. I mean, literally, go to a Mariah Carey album in the middle of the day of Daydream. You know what I'm saying? You got you got the house interlude. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got the joint, the line dancing joint. That's a house joint.
Yeah. I still can't do that. I was trying to learn. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So
my footwork ain't right. My footwork ain't right.
So and at the time, a lot of those house producers who were coming out of the underground, they were getting paid crazy money to remix for, your favorite R&B artist or your favorite, And so what ultimately happened from a society standpoint is that hip hop becomes what it is, and the macho element of hip hop. I'm not going to do say toxic masculinity per se, but essentially just the idea of like, trying to be the toughest, trying to be the most gangster, trying to be the hardest, trying to be, that makes it harder for somebody to, I guess, be confident and comfortable being, a straight man making dance music. You know what I'm saying? Because now he's got to figure out how to fit into this lane that's going harder, more tougher, more gangster. And you start to see a lot of the soul come out of the dance music, and it gets gentrified. Next thing you know, people are looking, it's by the time 2000 comes around, Daft Punk is the sound of dance music. And now black kids are like, that's that oonts oonts. That's that. I don't know what that is. You know?
That makes sense.
And
they
so
think it's just the glow sticks. They think it's just
exactly
the glow sticks.
rave, all of that, right? And they're not understanding it. Like, nah, in Chicago, it's like working on the hood of the car, you know what I'm saying? Like the same stuff that you would see at like something like the Freaknik or like the Kappa Weekend in Houston or whatever it is, or the March Down what we got, you know what I'm saying? It was the same energy. And so Luke had this vision of there's no reason why that should have left. And Luke's an old white guy, like 50-year-old white guy. But he had this vision of those two things go together. And house and dance music is getting more and more boring or monotonous, even really because it got gentrified.
That makes sense.
We make this record, You the Shit Girl, which is, I always called it was like it's like a ratchet love song. Like it's empowering lines, it's empowering, messages, but it's about sex, it's about relationships, it's about love, it's about admiration. So it's all of that. And he saw that, he understood that, and me, like I wasn't coming to it with, okay, let me dumb my flow down or let me do this. It was I was bar for bar. I come from battle rap, you know what I'm saying? I come to be able to freestyle. So with me, I kind of just changed my approach to, instead of really trying to like outright somebody or trying to let me actually just use my freestyle ability and my conversational style and my cadence and just what it is that comes out of me from being from the South Side of Chicago, and just put that out freely with no parameters, no rules, and just go. Because when I see people doing with that beat and what the international crowd understood is that them people would dance for 6 hours, 10 hours,
that's crazy,
to no words, no words, just the beat, 120 BPM beat, which matches your heartbeat.
So hearing that, right? So like, so when you see that flow, right? What music are you listening to now? Like, what do you engage? Obviously, I could, say.
You gotta finish telling the story about how he got the song.
Let me get there. Let me get there. It's okay.
We didn't get to how he got on the song yet.
My bad. I apologize.
We gotta stay linear.
And I'll take responsibility for that too, because it has been a winding tale. So
no. Hey, Dave, real talk. I've always, and I see it now, the passion. I think that's what made me gravitate towards you in college. You were just so passionate about everything that you had a vision for Alpha Eta. You had a vision for what you thought our chapter should be, the music, even the club scene in St. Louis. You didn't think it was bad. You just was like, I want to do something different. We can spin this different. And I've always liked it about you, because you always want to push the envelope. You always want to say, well, what's next? And it might not pop off like you think it's going to pop off in 3 months, in 6 months.
Yeah.
But I definitely saw cats throwing parties at the sneaker spot. And we did that first. And that was your idea. I give you your props. I definitely saw people doing stuff with the art influence later. And I was like, damn, we was 2 years too early on that shit.
Yeah.
But real talk, all the concepts that you brought to the table were always just a little bit before everybody else caught up. And that's for real. And the party scene in St. Louis was dope. But you was like, so what's next? You was like, okay, this is dope.
This is
but what's after this?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time you talked to me, like, hey, we should do this promoting thing and do something. I just was like, the passion that you got is so real. We can do this and not alienate the other promoters or the other crowd, because we still gonna support, we still gonna go out. But let's try something different. Man, that sneaker joint, I still think was fly. Frequently fly?
Yeah.
Like frequently fly. The ratio of women to men at that, if more men would have come to that, everybody would have won. Because that ratio, the ratio was crazy. It was like 6 to 1.
Yeah.
So see, what you're saying is y'all was the best, like y'all was the best promoters around y'all time.
No.
Y'all was killing them other promoters, right?
No.
Y'all was killing them other promoters because them other guys was dweebs. I feel you, bro.
I would never say that.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
would never say that.
Them other guys was some dweebs.
Because if you look at the financials,
it was like
you look at
a Ralph Tresvant looking nigga and like
no, stop. Chill out.
You just Skip Bayless, huh, Doja?
Yeah.
You just Skip Bayless, huh?
No, seriously.
I'm not gonna let Doja do this. Keep going, y'all.
Because Daryl was one of the other promoters. If you look at their financially, oh, they were probably killing us. We was breaking even, barely getting the profit sometimes. Yeah. But when you look at the vibe in that motherfucker, we always went home happy because the people who came out, now women would be mad because there wasn't enough dudes there, but we was on that, like his Chicago influence. So we was playing house and shit like that. Yep. He was getting Chicago DJs to come down. We was on some, let's get a DJ from another city to come down here and do something that niggas in St. Louis don't hear all the time. And in hindsight, that shit was fucking dope. Because it's still people that still be like, y'all was in that motherfucker first.
I remember we had
first.
We had $1 Million Mano come down for one of those things, and that was just one of the homies from growing up, but he ended up winning a Grammy with The Weeknd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I mean, I've always believed in you see what you see, and it don't matter if everybody else don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Validation comes from repetition, from consistency, from other people figuring it out. But just because they don't see it don't mean it's not there.
When I see all the cigar stuff that's popping off now, all the sneaker boutique stuff popping off now, nigga, we was doing that shit in like 06. So that shit's amazing to fucking me when I think about it. Like, damn, we were like a decade too early.
Yeah, 06, all point intended. All point intended.
No, it wasn't. I'm being accurate. Yeah. But anyway, back to your journey, because I'm just saying, someone who has watched you grow, bro. We recorded songs in my fucking bathroom at my apartment. So to see
I'm gonna find that album. That's a dope album. That's Peabody Sleepy, by the way.
Manhattan Project. Yeah.
Come on, man. Peabody Sleepy was a different nigga, man.
To see you supposed to grow and evolve, nigga. To see the growth that y'all have made is fantastic. That you have made. Sorry.
Thank you.
Proceed. So, how we get to Beyonce?
Yeah. So now here's the punch.
I want to jump in real quick, Dave. Yeah. So I mean, the song. So how you get with Beyonce, but it's one of the first songs on the album.
Yeah. Number 2.
So you like I mean, I want you to go there, but I want you to like your reaction and like, yo, I'm like, you know, you see the track listing. Like the track list is big for an album, like you right at the beginning. So like people gonna listen to them first few tracks, even if they, let's say they didn't listen to the rest, they gonna listen to yours off the jump.
Yeah, they got no choice.
You being humble.
Wrote on it. Did you write and produce on, or just wrote on it?
So I'm a part of the production team that built I would say the skeleton of the song. And that we basically delivered the original concept of the record. And then I think when it got to their team, certain changes were made, certain lyrics were updated, certain things were added. And I think ultimately really the power of what B does is, I always joke, I'd be like, she everybody type, you know what I'm saying? She what everybody like. So even from my perspective, like, the record as it came to me, it was based. If you listen to it, there's a sample that kind of comes up in the middle where it's like I'm light, I'm dark skinned, and I'm black. That sample was way more prominent in the initial song that we wrote, and that that was like kind of the core of it. So the record was actually this is kind of exclusive.
Exclusive.
Probably, yeah. The record was something. We had code named it. I won't say that it changed. I won't say that. Amongst our production team, the record was called I'm Black. And so what I wrote was, and I'll be able to explain this on the back end of this, you know what I'm saying? Because kind of how we got to that point. But what I was writing at the time was, I wanted to say something that spoke to the diversity of Blackness, the power of Blackness, and really just like establishing self-confidence. So not, like I'm very much of the thing. I don't have to tear you down to make myself, you know what I'm saying, to remind myself how great I am. And so
Facts.
That's how I approached that record. That was the idea behind it. It's just like, what does all of this blackness amount to? And in the midst of that, part of the production team that I'm working with, kind of at the center of it is Honey Dijon, who incredible producer, incredible DJ from Chicago, trans artist, model, fashion icon, the world internationally, but centrally, definitely in the queer community. And now it's kind of, everybody's understanding her genius on another level. And you come into that space, and I think for me, I work at Essence, like I said, I made this record to kind of, based around You the Shit Girl, used to go to empower my wife. I'm coming from the perspective of protect, serve, put women on that pedestal that they deserve, you know what I'm saying? And really just showcase how incredible they are. And so with Honey, it's like doing that, and also doing that with this expanded, with an expanded kind of with an expansion of the gender binary, you know what I mean? So what does it look like to love yourself? What does it look like to feel beautiful? What does it look like to feel sexy, to feel powerful?
That's big.
Every facet of blackness possible. And then how do you do that in 16 bars? And so that was the challenge, that was the structure. And so even when you hear that line, it's a reminder. That's literally like, that was an ad-lib. That wasn't written. That was something that on that verse, like I get off into, the flow, and then literally it's just like in the background, I'm like, yo, this is a reminder. Like, I'm black. Like, in case you thought, in case you forgot, in case you didn't realize what it was, in case you didn't understand what it means to be this is a reminder. So that's that influence. And so then, like I said, essentially this record, Luke, Solomon, Honey, Chris Penny, they produced the core of it. Myself and Carice, who's from St. Louis also, we were part of the writing team,
Shout out to him too. I don't know the brother, but shout out to him. St. Louis,
that's my dog. And we've got a ton of stuff that most credits that you see with my name on it this year, he's in there too. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little, the homies call us Dave Worthy and Carice Abdul-Jabbar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I like that.
Love it.
Yeah, so like I said, we kind of wrote this initial concept. There was more lyrics, there's more verses. I think there's probably 3 different versions of what I did that are out there, somewhere. But
I'm gonna find it, put my name on it.
Huh?
I'm gonna find it, put my name on it. We finna get paid, sleep.
Even like Carice's contributions, when you hear about like the comfortable in my skin, cozy in my skin, he was really an initial version talking about, loving his skin, loving his black skin, and comfortable in his black skin and all of that. So that's where we were coming from, the angle we were coming from. And so, like I said, to bring it back, B's everybody's type. And I think that you get it over to that team, the power of it is there. You know what I'm saying? Like they
commissioned you to write it. Like, hey, can y'all write us something? Or did y'all already have something? And they
I'm gonna come back to that part. But basically, what I believe happened is that essentially when the record got on their side, they understood we can say all of these things and make sure that everybody hears the message, and not just have it just be for this demo, just for that demo, or just be, and so that's something that I honestly admire about being that I've learned, in this process. Is just that, like, she was able to take those ideas and those messages and really not change them too much, you know what I'm saying? But create something that speaks to, spoke deeper to womanhood and spoke deeper to a diverse, perspective of womanhood.
Hey, real talk. Because you still get that essence when I now think about You Can't Break My Soul.
Yep.
Like, you still get that essence of that. But that's something that if you're queer, if you're black, if you're Latino, whatever you are, you can kind of that message will resonate with you.
Yeah.
And that actually is kind of dope. A lot of times when we hear those types of records, they can be divisive.
Yeah.
I should say.
What's up, y'all? This is RVS.
This is ROD, aka Rated R.
And We are the We Coming For You cast, and we talk about pro wrestling from a black dude's perspective. Tell them what they can expect on this here podcast.
Oh, we gonna give you all the raw and dirty and the everything black from AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, and any other wrestling in between. If you want your wrestling unfiltered, uncensored, and you want it raw, you need to subscribe to the We Come For You cast.
Right here on SOLC Network.
Like only one group or one type of person can relate to the song.
Yep.
But when it's done that way, it can be universally put out.
Yeah.
Like, it's because of you that I even ever listened to House. I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't never even touched it. So
I'm honored.
no, I'm gonna be real. You the first Chicago. Hey, you know St. Louis we hate the Cubs. I don't fuck with the Bulls.
But
like,
I know you're a White Sox guy, right, Dave?
Southside.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't do
I was good with it. I was good. My
whole father's side of family, everybody from Chicago. I moved to St. Louis at 9, so
because of Dave, you know,
the Cardinals do.
Yep.
Hey, Dave being like, hey man, I don't like the Cubs either. I was like, let me listen to this guy. What are he talking about?
and what's so crazy is I don't know if I ever told y'all. I grew up in South Shore.
Yeah, that's
wow.
South Shore 76.
77th right here.
Right,
wow.
Rainbow Park right behind me. I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You was in Tarrytown, boy.
Yeah.
You was ducking them.
No.
Dave,
I can walk out the
BDs,
yard
boy.
right into the park.
Hey Dave, we should have poached him from Free Time. We'd have made a little more money.
Come on over here.
I was half
Come home.
I'm from South Shore.
Make the link happen.
Come on.
Man, you mentioned this now. After the money we could have made.
It was like gang banging. It was like, dang, that is my hood. But I can't now. I'm already down.
Southside Swizzy. That would have been the name.
Yeah,
right there.
damn. But no, seriously, the fact that she was able to kind of freak it a little bit, I don't know if that's a proper language, but to make it hers.
Yeah.
Off of the foundation that y'all laid.
Yep.
Because I actually like the song. I didn't think I would. Because before I even knew you were on the album, the song it came out. So before I even knew, you know, I'm gonna be real. I was like, I've been partially in the hive since Dangerously in Love. I've been like, she had like a couple songs. I'd be like, I really fuck with this song. Like Love on Top, come on, I'm ready to go. I'm like, fuck it. But I ain't in there. I ain't gonna fight nobody off of Beyonce. So I fucks with it. So the song came out, and a lot of niggas was like, I'm like, nah, nigga, this some CC Peniston, like, finally, like, let's fucking women dance with this shit. Who doesn't like women dancing?
Dance music. People sleep on it. It's so many.
What the fuck wrong with y'all? Women is dancing and happy. Why wouldn't you want to be?
What's wrong with y'all?
You so hard that you don't want women to dance and be happy? Like you that hard?
You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Keep going.
So now to kind of like flip back into, you know, how we end up on there. So basically, like I said, you know, Luke signed me to his label Classic Music. Well, he signed me and Sam to his label Classic Music. They basically like bought out, you know, the rights to the initial deal that we had, and they get with us, you know, planning to just sign us to a single. Him and Simon Dunmore come out to Brooklyn, where I was living at the time, and sit down with me and Luke. I mean, with Sam, we play our records. And, you know, for anybody who's familiar with the album that we dropped in 2020, it's called No Shade. If not, check it out, because it's definitely a precursor to a lot of what you're hearing on the radio, what you're going to hear on the radio this summer. You know what I'm saying? They heard some of those songs even then, and they were like, oh, wait, y'all are actually musicians. Like, this isn't just a gimmick, like, you know, just, okay, y'all got a little catchy little hook, and we got this house beat. Like Sam plays bass, Sam plays guitar, he plays kalimba, he plays the keys, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I write everything. I can't sing, but if you can sing, I can write it for you. You know what I'm saying? So they got that, you know, in that meeting, and they changed the deal to an album deal from a single deal. And the next thing you know, we were signed to Warner. I had a publishing deal with, you know, through Defected Music and Warner. And so when you have a publishing deal, what that means is that essentially there's different types of publishing deals, but essentially at the core of it, they are investing in you or giving you funding to be able to focus on songwriting and to encourage you to collaborate or to, you know, work with other people, or, you know, in certain cases, if they have the power to connect you with producers, you know, factory style almost, so that they're able to kind of manufacture music in that way.
The old school Berry Gordy style. The Berry Gordy style.
Bingo. They're able to manufacture the music, and it's like, okay, I know we can trust him for these verses, or we can trust her to sing, or we can trust, you know, her to play this, or, you know, that kind of thing. So you kind of get put into, you know, this system of sorts. And initially I was completely unknown. I always joked that Sam brought me to the party because everybody knew who he was in that world, but they ain't know me. And when we dropped No Shade, and, you know, for me, as you know, I'm a visual person. So in the dance music space, you probably can't tell me you probably know some classic dance records, but you can't tell me a video, you know, at all. What it looked like, who was in it, what happened. Because
I was a dance kind of cat. I remember all them videos, Black Box, you know what I'm saying, Ace of Base, all that stuff. I mean, I was one of them weird kids watching the box.
That's not weird, man.
Yeah,
but I love this. Like, dude, I literally have a whole 150 songs, this dance playlist. You know what I'm saying? I like all the classic joints, CC Peniston, Crystal Waters, like all this. I'm talking about like even the underground.
Crystal Waters.
Yes.
Hey.
Crystal
Flowers
Waters
need to be given.
Like
for
I said,
real.
Black Box, what was Technotronics?
Yeah.
Pump Up the Jam, Technotronics. I think it's Technotronics. Yeah, all that.
Yeah. So, you know, but typically it's like with those videos, you don't know who the artist is, right? You remember the dancers, you remember the just stuff happening, but you don't know who.
And they wouldn't even put the actual singers in the video.
In the video,
it would be like something else. And
like,
you look at the person, and now internet-wise, you'll be like, "Hold on, that was a person on that in the video."
Yeah.
They showed people just dancing, hanging out, like a couple doing whatever. You didn't know who it was. Shout out to Martha Wash.
Didn't they do Good Vibrations? Didn't they have like a different chick in the video? Or wasn't the chick that was
there? Martha Wash. It happened multiple times for Martha Wash on not just with CNC Music Factory. It was a couple other joints too that they did that tour on.
Yeah. So you know, that was something that, again, I believe in paint where it ain't. You know what I'm saying? I believe in, as Miles Davis says, you know, or said, you know, play the notes that aren't there. So I look in this space, I'm immediately looking and saying, okay, I'm not popular in this regard. They don't know me. You know what I'm saying? I do not fit the description of somebody who can just you know, I got kids, you know, I got a wife. Like, I'm not the guy who can just get up and run around the world, you know, at a drop of a hat to be with the young folks and all of that stuff. So I was like, what do I do to stand out in this space? And I started looking around the landscape, and I'm like, they don't do videos. Or if they do videos, they're not in them. So let me actually create characters. Let me actually create a visual narrative. Let me actually, you know, so the sunflowers that you saw a lot with the stuff that we were putting out. And, you know, if you watch the videos, there's certain characters that go all the way through, focusing on the cinematography, trying to make the stuff movie quality. You know what I mean?
You tell a story, man. You tell a story. Your videos tell a story.
Yeah. I really leaned in on that. And what happened was, you know, pandemic hits. And so the people end up not really knowing these records, other than like the hardcore dance heads who kind of are in this, like, who are basically looking for new dance music. But the DJs and the producers were like, yo, we see you. Like, they're telling me things like, you know, man, I got to get on my videos because y'all videos is cold. You know what I'm saying? And initially I'm like, well, that's not going, they don't not going to pay my bills, but thank you, you know, for the love. But then, you know, pandemic gets into full effect, and I'm like, all right, let me go back to what I know and fuse it with this space. Let me go to mixtape Weezy. Let me go to Trap or Die Summer Jeezy. Let me go to 08 Gucci and literally make as many songs as I possibly can. Any dance music producer who reaches out to me from any corner of the world, I will get on your track. If you reach out to me with your track, I'll get on it. I'm not even going to ask for a fee. Some of them paid, some of them didn't. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I'm thinking, well, this is going to fulfill my publishing contract. I'm going to, you know, be able to get through it and get back to owning my masters. And, you know, if y'all stuff gets picked up, because I'm just...
Be alert, owning your masters.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, y'all over in France or y'all over in whatever. So y'all got a whole nother demographic. You might get assigned to some label I've never heard of, but now that fulfills what I need for my deal. And I can get a little bit of action in your city, you know what I'm saying? Or your part of the world, be on the radio.
Working. That boy was working.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
And that was the push. That's what I was on. And so because of that, Luke kind of comes around and is like, all right, look, we're not doing everything that we wanted to do with the album numbers wise, but like, you got the gift, so let's write. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, let's work on stuff. And so I'm doing verses for other people, popping up on, other dance producers stuff, and kind of the requests are kind of coming in. I probably did 50 songs during, the heart of the pandemic. Just jumping on anything.
And niggas don't realize that either, like writing quality music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he was definitely like in the zone doing that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just going in, you know what I'm saying? Because again, even with that, I'm knowing they don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no vocalists in that. Not no, because there are some. Let me not say that. There's a lot of really dope vocalists in the space, but a lot of them come into the space from a house first perspective. A lot of them do not come from selling mixtapes in the street, standing on the corner trying to convince people that you can rap, standing in ciphers and battling, you know what I'm saying, to get attention, to get people to care about what you do, or open mics in every city, or booking your own shows and, driving around in in your own car, to play whatever rap show you can get on. So I try to fuse that hustle and that thought process with the structure of this new gentrified dance scene. One day Luke is like, all right, man, I'm gonna start sending you beats, I'm gonna start sending you tracks, let's get to it. He lets me know that they're working on a project, for Honey, and they're kind of putting all of their power and resources into it, and he starts sending me stuff for it. So I'm now at this point going from writing songs from my perspective that are kind of targeted towards international audiences to now writing songs for Honey's perspective.
You Chicago babyface, like, nigga. You Chicago babyface now, huh?
Hey.
You writing songs for TLC, and I'm just using examples. Like, it's not even a space. You don't even really live in that space, but you got to look at that perspective and be them.
Yep.
Nigga, you call. Boy, I love to fucking see
that's what we start. We start doing that, and there's a point where basically it's like, now I can say this. I probably turned in about 3 tracks, intended for Honey, 3 or 4 tracks intended for Honey. Carice was on a lot of them too. And then one day I get a call. I'm in Chicago, actually, ironically, visiting my mom. And I get a call from Luke, and he's just like, hey, look, I can't say who we talking to. I can't say what it's about. There's NDAs involved. I need you to know that the greatest possible person you could ever be fortunate enough to grace your music is a fan of Honey Dijon, and somebody on her team is really is close with Honey. They talking, they crossing ideas, and basically the GOAT wants to make a statement and wants to bring all of us together.
Hey, so I just want a big ass chain. That's all I want. Just give me a big ass chain.
You get to work with her on the song, like in the studio, or it was more like you sent it off?
Sent it off. So basically from that, I had, like I said, these records were already written. I find out that the record that becomes Cozy, what was told to me, I don't know this for fact, but was, this is her jam. Like, she dancing on the furniture. Like, she loves this joint. And we just need you to tweak certain things to kind of make it fit closer to her than to what, you were doing for Honey. But it's the same kind of idea, but let's just try and make it, fit in this space.
Who demoed the track for her to hear it?
Huh?
So who demoed the track for her to hear it?
Yeah. So
Honey demoed it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Damn.
And so basically, from that, I had 72 hours. And I never forget, I told my wife, and, I was the only person I told at the time, and she was just like, took the kids and was like, all right, we going out. We finna go to the beach, get ice cream, run around the city 3 times, like whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? Boy, you better get your ass outside and get to writing. Like,
she was like, look, you need to get this done.
If I got these kids for 3 straight days, it better be platinum.
So
big ass chains, okay?
I had 72 hours to get it right, and send it back, send a couple, there's a couple other versions, some stuff that didn't make the cut, but that's just as hard that I'm like, man, I'm glad I get to keep that.
Yeah.
But,
multiple songs.
yeah.
Oh.
But that one stuck. That's the one that definitely stuck. And
Just take one, big dog.
Yeah.
Just take
and
one.
And Honey's team, they're credited on 2 of the records, but they worked on about 4. You know what I'm saying? Of what's on there. So, you know, that sound, that influence. It's like even when I hear other songs, and I won't like this is where I won't, you know, go in that kind of direction. But I'll just say there are other songs on the album that if you listen. If you know what I've been doing in the dance space, and then you listen to some of those other tunes, you'll be like, "Damn, that's." You know what I mean?
He ain't gonna say it. He can't say it.
But
Dave wrote on a Beyonce album.
Influence is influence. Hey, the way I see
Influence
it,
is
I don't believe in biting and all of that. Like it's 26 characters, it's 26 letters in the alphabet, it's 7 notes on you know what I'm saying, on the scale, 12 if you include the flats. Like we all doing the same stuff. We just making it ours. So.
Boy, I'm so proud of you. You have no idea. You have no fucking idea, man.
Thank you.
Dave.
So you know, we send it over and then we just pray, and that's literally what it was. Sent it over and just prayed, and I went back to the grind as if it wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? With the hope that it would happen.
Phone though. Now I talked to you on the phone. I was talking to Dave on the phone about something totally different, and Dave was like, "Yeah, man. So you might want to you might want to Google." Like, I'm just saying, because like next week, and you know, her album's coming out. He's like, you might want to Google. I'm like, nigga, Google what? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, Google what? Okay, I got it. You an artist and you sensitive about your shit. I understand. But no. He's like, Doge, you might want to Google some shit. I'm just saying. What are you saying? And then Cozy come up, and I'm just like, damn. I'm terrible with it. Oh my god. Such a long way from 2 polos used to wear.
Such a long way.
Double polo days, boy.
So, you know, yeah, I just laid in the cut, you know what I'm saying, for almost 2 years, about 1.5 years to be exact. Just hoping for an up every now and then, knocking, hey, Luke, you know anything? And, you know, he like, nah, you know, just.
Where were you when you found out?
You said, where was I?
When you found out.
Oh, man. One of the best ways.
Like official, ain't no waiting. Like, what was you doing?
So this is how God works. All right, so we have 2 cars because my wife works in one side of the city. I work remote, but so I take the kids, you know what I'm saying, in the mornings typically, and so we go 2 separate routes, you know, in the morning, and we see each other in the evening. That particular morning, for whatever reason, I really don't know why. Maybe just because it was close to the end of the school year or something. I took basically everybody to school and to work, you know what I'm saying, and took her to work and all of that. So we're on the 405, headed up to her campus, listening to Survivor by Destiny's Child. And
the irony. I'm a survivor.
I get a WhatsApp call. You know what I'm saying?
WhatsApp?
With the +44 on it, you know what I'm saying, from the UK.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you already know WhatsApp is always a Europe person. There's
Yep.
always a European hitting you up from WhatsApp.
Yep. I'm like, all right, what's this about? And then Luke is like, yo, you somewhere, you know, good? You safe? You relaxed? I'm like,
you safe?
What's up? What's going on? He's like, all right, man, look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. I put him on speaker. G's sitting right there in the car next to me, and he was like, hey, it's happening. The record is happening. I don't know how far it goes, what it's gonna look like, what we gonna do right now, but it's definitely happening. I just had a meeting with the team, and I think at that time he's in London. I think they were out there shooting the British Vogue, which was like the cover that, you know what I'm saying, that the cover story that first kind of told everybody like what was coming up. And he's like, yeah, we just met. They played the song for me. Because in these spaces, they don't send the records around. You know what I'm saying? So even the producer wouldn't give me the reference track that we worked on, because that could be something exploited, leaked, and cause a problem.
Wow.
So they basically flew out there.
And then she said her album got leaked, right?
Yeah, by physical retailers.
Damn.
So nobody internally. It was physical retailers. Basically, the physical product got shipped too soon, And you know how it is. Imagine if you're working at Best Buy.
And the Beyonce, I mean, like, hold on.
What?
Like, y'all don't start this shit right now. You got this shit. Hey, man. Hey, nobody goes home to this shit and start
it was one cat. He was like, hold on. Hey, bring one of them. Do we got CD players still here? Somebody bring one over. And they sat there and listened to it like, hold on. Oh, nigga, this is it. Hey, this is a real album.
Yep.
As a former bootlegger, I definitely would have leaked that out.
You know, so I can't fault him. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely was not sharing anything, and Luke didn't even give me the chance to. You know what I'm saying? But he handled it. He held it tight, zip shut. But yeah, in that moment, he was like, "Yo, it's here, it's ready, it's happening." They came out, they played the song for me. You know what I'm saying? I heard it, and first thing he says, he's like, he was like, "I don't remember what your verse was, but I can hear your lyrics in there." He's like, and I also think they used your voice. So he's like, I told them, you know, that they need to get with you. They'll be back in LA. Get on the email, you know what I'm saying? Let's connect everybody up. There's probably gonna be more NDAs involved, but you know. And so immediately, you know, I'm in the car with my wife, and you know, we hang up, and I think she might have posted a story actually.
Boy, I seen it.
The story, I'm driving, and you know what I'm saying, like reacting to the news or whatever, right then.
Boy, you sound like Alvin the Chipmunks on that.
You're like, oh my
God, boy.
Nah. Hey, the one was when Jahan was like, "That's your voice." Yep, and she pops that page like, I was like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
Yes,
so yeah,
sir. I was like, Jahan, that is your baby daddy fiance friend right there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it was just like not only to get that news, but for her to be there. We were already in the spirit because we been behaved up. I've seen Beyonce in concert like 5 times. Yeah. I would be lying if I didn't admit that I have had her in my top 10 rappers list since Bow Down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people be like, "What you mean rappers?" And I'm like, I don't think y'all get it. Like, yeah, like B will eat your favorite rapper, dog. Like in a minute. Yeah. So I believe this already. And so yeah, like we are fans in itself. You know, that's what's kind of like it's fitting because I'm probably influenced, you know what I'm saying, by what she's already done and what I do, you know. Yeah. But yeah, truly, like we was just happy, you know what I'm saying? Opened up the sunroof and just shouted out to my pops, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to having the sunroof.
You know, I was like, "Daddy, we did it." You know what I'm saying?
R.I.P. man.
Because he was the main, you know, my parents supported, you know, my visions, but he was the one who was like, "I don't know anything about it or how you gonna pull it off or how you gonna do it, but you can do it. I know you can do it." And he would print my lyrics off from my old mixtapes when I'm like 18, 17, and like used my lyrics to like talk to the kids that he was mentoring, you know what I'm saying, and his like, it's because he worked in project housing, you know what I'm saying, as a programs coordinator. So like he believed in my words that much that he was using my words to connect to the kids that he was, you know, too old to relate to then. You know what I mean? So I was like, this is really for you, dog. Like, you know, and then we just held on to it, you know, kept it zip. We make the contacts, you know, at the time, you know, I have a manager now, brother named Johnny Maroney, who
now.
Yeah, like Johnny's been incredible. And when I let him know, like, all right, this is what's up. I mean, this man literally moved heavens and earth. And he's like, all right, cool. We can bring in the legal A team. We're going to bring in this. We're going to bring in that. And, you know, so.
Yeah, tell him to holler at Daryl for this interview. We ain't.
Y'all got this because typically it would have to run through Johnny.
Tell him holler at Daryl.
Y'all got it. We family. You know what I'm saying?
That's Daryl. Hey, Daryl, big ass chains.
Y'all got some homework to do. I'm finna send y'all after this though. So
word.
Get this episode off on a good way.
But yeah, so basically, you know, we get in there, you know, it all get set up. I do another NDA. You know, I won't go into all of what happens when you go into Parkwood, but I will say that everything that you imagine about how somebody like B runs their businesses and just how elite, how professional, how beautiful and like well planned and designed and structured you could imagine that their headquarters would be, or that their, you know, the people who work for them would be. It's all of that and more.
Yo, does Beyonce got like what's the line it's called again with Adidas? What's it called?
Oh, Ivy Park.
Ivy Park. She got Ivy Park for men, right?
Oh yeah, I stay in Ivy Park, boy.
I need you.
I pay for mine though. I'm not. I ain't getting no trunk yet. I pay for mine.
Extra large. Send that.
But yeah, no, it truly. I already admired her, but when I walked into that space, I was like, nah, I get it. Like, I get it. She gets busy. Like, I truly, you know how the Hive be going hard. I'm like, I don't ever want to hear somebody talk about what she ain't. Because she's everything that she says she is and more. You know what I'm saying? And even the lyrics that you hear, it's like, you know, Florida Ceiling, Kahinde Wiley's on the wall and all that. You know, I won't tell you anything else about what's in the you know, the up in the space, but it's just none of it is a front. You know what I'm saying? Like the intentional, you know, the name dropping of Black cultural entities and the art and all of that. It's not a front. This is literally.
She about that.
Out that.
That's okay.
You know what I'm saying? 1,000%. And so I didn't get a chance to meet her, but I did get a chance to go into the studio where everything was made and listen to the original song. And crazy enough, again, to tell you just how meticulous they are, man. The song actually changed within the 30 days from when I heard it to when it dropped. It changed again. You know what I'm saying? So they were making that record all the way up till it came out.
Damn.
You know,
it's a nice record too, man.
Hey man,
yeah.
It's actually enjoy the song.
I just need a big ass chain. I'm on typical nigga shit.
Wow.
I just
Okay.
want
Those are trying to get a chain so bad. That's
Dave. I just want a big dumb ass chain. That's all I want.
Me too. I'll let you know when I get one.
Dave, I'm so much easier to please than this, man. Just when you own Dave, I just want to come out to LA and just toast with you, dog. That's all I need.
Hey,
like, I don't need no chain. I don't need nothing.
That's good for him. That's good.
When you do blow up, all the way blow up, and folks go back and start listening to that album,
just like Gunna.
Just shoot your boy.
So now, Dave, I don't know if you've listened to the show previously, but Sleepy is trying to keep Gunna in jail so he can actually become Gunna and dress like him.
Hey, Dave, listen, bro. Hey, look. Hey, we was like, yo, what would you do if you had a whole bunch of money, right? This nigga Sleepy said, I couldn't. I'll be alive for like 3 years. Like it'll be around.
Dave,
I would clone myself.
Hey, it's one of the best moments of the show.
I'll be dead in 3 years. I'm like, damn, dog.
So time out. Niggas exaggerate. This was also if I was his youngest Gunna.
Yeah, but it was still a great moment though, Sleepy. Like I ain't gonna make it 3 years.
This ain't grown ass man Sleepy.
I'm going hard, nigga.
If I was his youngest Gunna and I was rich, how long would I make it? And I was like, I wouldn't run out of money. I just would probably die. I would just.
You know what though? I got a good point I want to make about that though, because honestly, I feel you. Like I feel you because when I think about like, you know what I'm saying, I'm 36, you know what I'm saying? And so when I think about I've been rapping since I was 16, like selling my music since I was 16. Rapping since before that, but I've been selling my music since I was 16. 15 maybe even, I don't know. So 20 years doing this at an intentional, like commercial, not commercial, but like for commerce, you know what I'm saying? Doing it for commerce for 20 years. And, you know, I remember being 18 and getting my music to like, I don't know, like GLC and GLC getting into Kanye and us just being like, is Kanye gonna listen to our music? Is he gonna like our music? And, you know, and then being like, nah, y'all got some work to do. Y'all got, you know, go back to the drawing board. And it's like, or going to WGCI. You know, Daryl, you know WGCI.
Yeah, for sure.
Going to WGCI.
Shout out to the rapper Pink House. I mean,
there you go.
Pink House.
Yeah.
I mean, Pink House, man.
Yep.
Which was on 106 Jams.
96 Jams, yeah.
96
106
Jams.
Jams. Yeah,
No, it's 106 Jams. It's 106 Jams.
Yeah.
The best radio station ever.
Facts.
I tell people that all the time. And
Yeah.
and people go online. You can watch 106 Jams on YouTube. Somebody recorded a whole bunch of different. You can just go on and put up 106 Jams Chicago. You can. I just listen to it. Like I'm talking about the whole segments, everything.
That's
like,
it.
Rapper Pink House, they got all that stuff.
So yeah, like you know, I remember going to GCI, you know, with these Paxton's records, and you know,
did you ever go to 950 a.m. where they used to have like the late night
That's
rap
what it was
joints?
before 106.
Yeah, because it was a late night rap joint. That's where Common was used to be on there when I was a kid.
Yep. So I remember getting that chance to go up to GCI, you know, prepared, got a slot. One of my homies was an intern there, got us a meeting with the program director. We got a little outfits on matching and got our.
So you already did it?
This was years ago. This is like when I'm 18. And them sitting me down and being like, man, literally play the music, nod their head. An intern walks past the program director's office and he says, hey, come here real quick. She sticks her head in and then about 3 seconds passes and he goes, do you remember the hook? And she's like, what hook? And then he's like, never mind, cool. And he's like, yeah, nah. If she don't remember the hook, then we ain't gonna play it.
Ah, that's crazy.
So I've been through all of that. And in those years, for me, it was like the dream would have been having any of those things pop off or connect and we just out of there. And now as a 36-year-old man, I'm like,
I mean, for the connection to be this one,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if it 16, if it happened at 18, if it happened at 20, I'd have signed bad paperwork.
Oh yeah,
I would have
like 5-year foreign, $5,000.
I'd have signed bad paperwork. I'd have blew the advance in a week.
Hey,
it's in a week.
Dave,
you're more responsible than me.
Dave, this is post-graduation, so we got sense.
Yeah.
Me, you, Chris, Josh, Tremaine. And I ain't trying to get anybody in trouble, but we young. We lived at the strip club. We lived doing ridiculous things that we should not have been doing.
Facts.
Because the money that we had did not add up to us living like that.
Yep.
We was eating hamburger helper with no burger, but out every fucking night
at the strip club while eating hamburger helper.
Yeah, all of that.
No,
yeah.
Doja, you don't understand. Can I tell the story real quick, Dave? I ain't gonna get you in trouble.
As long as my kids will still be proud of me afterwards.
We at the strip club, man. We at the strip club. Josh over there. Shout out to Lebeck. Josh over there. He getting paid.
Yeah.
More money than he's spending. This nigga Dave throws up in the strip club in the corner, wipes his mouth off, and continues to keep the party going. I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. I'm like, what are we doing?
No, Dave, that's a special talent because if I'm throwing up, I'm out for the night.
Right,
that's a special talent,
right?
To and keep it going,
bro. I think I ain't gonna say his name because he do religious stuff now. But the friend guys was like, meet me at the strip club. I'm getting out of seminary. We like, what? I know. So I know for a fact, if I had money like Gunna at 25, 3 years, because I was living crazy on the regular jobs. So if I had money like Gunna at 25, ain't no telling what I would have done. Like, I'm gonna be real. Ain't no telling.
We got them Gunna boots on.
I done had on the highest leather boots. My boots will come up to my leather stuff. I'm standing up. My boots will come up to right here, nigga. The boots will come up to here.
Hey, girl, why you get that visual?
I'm telling you, I get it. I get it. And that's I truly believe what is for you is for you.
I'm honest.
When it's time for it, it's time for it. I was not ready. You know what I'm saying? Would not have been ready for any of this.
Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. I truly believe that. Everything happens when you got the support system that you need now. You got the foundation and the responsibility. When we were young, we had no responsibility, Dave. We was like, fuck it. We not paying the rent today. Fuck it. We going out. Like, we would just do dumb shit. Like, we would get, me and Dave would get paid. We would get paid and be like, the rent due in 2 days. What should we do? And niggas would be like, because Dave, you put me on dunks. Niggas would be like, let's go get some dunks. We had to buy our own shirts to get the shirts printed. So we would be like, we need to get some new merchandise. We wasn't selling no damn shirts for real, but it's fucking. If anybody else gonna wear our brand, we gonna wear our brand.
We
were doing dumb shit, but I think that molded us too, because it was hustle.
Yep.
I wouldn't change any of that. Like, I wouldn't change none of that because I turned out okay. In hindsight, we turned out okay.
Learn how to build a brand in the process.
Obviously, Dave turned out okay because he's on the Beyonce track. So I wouldn't change none of that. And to see the growth and just the men that we have all become is amazing. And this ain't no kiss up to Dave situation or big up myself or nothing. But man, niggas don't know. Niggas was broke. Like, niggas was outside struggling.
Putting quarters together to get rice. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was broke. We were down bad. You couldn't tell at the club. You would know it at the club, but we was down bad.
Like, niggas don't get it.
That 7-Eleven by San Rafael is magical, man.
Yep.
So Dave, what's next that you got going on that non-NDA that won't get you jammed up?
Got a new album coming out, don't you, fellas?
We're coming down the pipe.
Yeah, man. So, like, you know, as I mentioned, my production partner Sam, you know, we have a group called Dave and Sam, and that's, you know, we do
like Sam and Dave, the old.
You feel me? You see what I did there?
I'm a nerd on music. That's a nerd. That was a nerd out moment.
Yep.
The music cats to get what I did on that. Okay, all right. Yeah. I like that. It's dope.
So, you know, we got that, and like I said, in the midst of making all that music, man, me and Sam have made some incredible stuff. Sam, I think, really, he's elevated his sound, but he's also brought just even a newer energy out of me. Even this year, he's figured out how to bring the best, I think, out of what I do. And so we got a record that just dropped the same day as Renaissance. It's called Love Feels. It's a single. Video, well, there's a trailer out for it now that I directed and produced, but Carice directed it, but I produced it. And that's out right now. It's on Mood Swing Music. It's already doing, you know what I'm saying, doing its thing. It's playing on like Sirius XM pretty strong. Getting a little bit of international love already. So that's coming. There's going to be another video for that coming pretty soon. Working out a single or working on a single that's going to come out in a couple of months with Defected, my old label in the UK, called Just a Man. And then we've got other singles in the pipeline, you know, coming down over the next really year. You know what I mean? We just loading them up because the work has already been done. You know what I'm saying? And so now at this point, it's all about marketing and visuals and strategy. So that's the energy there, you know, with the music. You know, in the midst of all of this, I still work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I design apps and software. Yeah. So I no longer do freelance work, but, you know, I am working for an app called Access Club, which is not, it's basically in beta mode. It's not truly public yet, but essentially it is, we give people early stage and access to investing, but it's mixed with the social component. So instead of you going on a thing and like reading a long paragraph about some company that you want to invest in, you're going in a room and watching Instagram style or a Google Meet style like live event with video messages and 4 people on the stage and, you know, 4 audio only speakers.
Are you actually tapping into it?
Talking about the products. You know, people can interact on the about the companies and things like that, and that's a company that's owned by Chameleonaire.
Oh wow,
He
you know,
doing
Ryan Dirty.
ooh,
So,
ooh. Talk about a nigga that flipped the dollar.
That's
God,
my hero. That's my hero. That's like Big Bro, and that's my hero.
Bruh,
he rolling.
Yeah.
He figured it out. He was like, fuck rap. He was like, rap is cool. Now I'm gonna do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now he right back at it with Toby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's somebody who I've absolutely watched, you know, got all the cards in his hand, got all the heat in the world, and will not say or do a thing until the time is right to make sure that he can capitalize on the perfect moment to strike.
Dave, so I got a question, right? So because you obviously multi-talented, and like obviously we going way past an hour at this point, but like,
oh, it's out. Dang, my bad.
Nah, you good. You good.
No. This is a dope flowing conversation.
Yeah, but I just like because you're a man of many hats, and I mean, obviously our history goes back so far. Like when I say the word legacy, right? Obviously you have two young leaders that you are bringing up. You know what I'm saying? Impact also.
My godson too.
Yeah, facts. Like what is the like when I say the word legacy to you, what does that mean to you? You know what I mean? Like what is that? What does that look like, sound like? What does it feel like? You know what I mean?
You know, how Pharrell's group was like, you know, the title is like "No One Ever Really Dies."
Mm-hmm.
That's what legacy is.
Mm.
We never die. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies are here on loan. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies are here temporarily. We are borrowed by the people that are around us. And what we do during that time, that lives forever. We're like, for better or for worse. You know what I mean? And so that to me is legacy. And personally, you know, I've always understood. I've been fortunate, you know what I'm saying, between my father-in-law, and just, you know, the other, you know, men who I've had.
And shout out to him, man. R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace to your father-in-law too, man.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, like the other men of, you know, of Alpha Phi Alpha, and just other, you know, brothers who I've had the privilege of, you know, kind of being able to look at or watch or be actually directly mentored by. You know, what I've figured out, a few things. My dad always talked to me about, you know, look in the mirror, look at how broad your shoulders are. God gave you those shoulders so that other people can climb up them.
That's tough.
That's real. That's tough.
When my father passed, I'm at his funeral, and one of his best friends said to me, you know, your father believed, because he never told me this, but he was like, your father believed that manhood is about making decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to be able to cook. You ain't got to be able to fix a car. You ain't got to be able to, you know, kill a bear with your hands. But if you can make a decision that influences, that impacts life or death, and you can stand on it for what it's worth,
that's tough.
You can be wrong or you can be right, and you can learn from it, atone from it, or, you know, go on and be great as a result of it. That's what it's about.